All right, we are live and good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whatever part of the world you are into. Welcome to the Resistance Trader. If you're watching it right now, definitely we will be live. We are live. We are live. But if you're listening to the podcast right now, I believe this will be a replay for you. So maraming salamat for tuning in to our blockchain updates by the Resistance Trader. And of course, our good friend, Mr. Sly Pi. Hello, bro. What's up? Been a while. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. How are you, man? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, it's been 6 months. The last time we did this was New Year. Yeah. So here we are. We're back. We're giving some updates to our listeners, to our subscribers, and mabuhay to everyone.
All right, so let's do this, man. All right, so let's just talk about some of the upcoming blockchain events or blockchain news. Sorry, and let's see what's happening. So if you let's get started with that. So in terms of blockchain updates, I mean, what's new in the blockchain world, dude? What have you found? What have you seen?
Oh, well, for the blockchain updates, there are a lot. Almost every day, a lot of things are happening left and right. Actually, let's start maybe with the Philippines first when we check in the region of the world.
All right, let's
Yeah, go ahead.
all right, let's do that. So let's talk about the Philippines first, man. So what's going on with the Philippines regarding blockchain?
Well, just last week, I believe in the blockchain space in the Philippines, the DICT for the public, for the government side, and a lot of other private entities. They did this project or they did this collaboration wherein they are actually working to establish, or they established, and they launched it last week. Kaka-launch lang ng BCP or the Blockchain Council of the Philippines. Shout out to, of course, our friends who are directors, already directors of the BCP, the Blockchain Council of the Philippines. So I was actually invited, bro. Yeah, go ahead. I think you want to say something.
Yeah, because there's something interesting about the DICT and blockchain because I know for a fact that they were trying to hire some blockchain, I guess, developers or blockchain individuals for a particular project. So if you can expand on what was probably in the meeting.
Yeah, actually, they're looking into the blockchain technology more on the use case. I mean, with the utility more than the trading. The trading that's scared off by, of course, BSP or CC. They're the ones who are looking after that one, after that side. But what BACP is looking is more on the education side and how it can be utilized and used for public use.
Right.
Like the government job, like they're looking at it being used in approval, approval of some documents in the government. They're looking at it.
Right.
Yeah, you're correct in saying that.
Well, that's good. At least, there's some forward thinking in terms of the Philippines utilizing and adopting blockchain, at least for the technology side, because we already know the finance side, crypto trading has already been adopted. It's already, it's there.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, even if there's an hiatus on the approval for new VASPs, for the sake of those who are new to the show, VASPs, these are the Filipino-based exchange. Something like that. They actually halted na there's a moratorium for 2 years on that one. But still, you can see a lot of parang uptick in the trading activities of most Filipinos, particularly for peer-to-peer. In the P2P, it's still not waning. Marami pa rin nag-peer-to-peer, even if, well, I think you've heard one of the biggest peer-to-peer platform closing and open again. Even if that happened, the Filipinos never ceased, on their trading on the P2P platforms. So yeah.
That's a great thing about decentralization, at least when it comes to peer-to-peer, at least, and that's what blockchain really is. When you think about it, ultimately, it is meant to be peer-to-peer. So that's great. The Philippines is both now adopting the technology side and the financial side.
Yeah.
So
Totally agree.
that's awesome, man. What about the other parts of the world other than the Philippines? Any news on that?
Oh, before we actually proceed with other parts of the world, it's worth noting though that the DOS, the Department of Science and Technology itself, they're doing their moves in the blockchain space. And like the DOST, they have this research facility and even grants for those who are interested to work with the blockchain technology. Given that it will be used, or the utility will be used as the government, the Philippine government is one of its beneficiaries. So of course, it's for the if and only if the project will be for public good, then they can actually provide some grants. You can check more about this in the website of DOST. Let's proceed with your question.
But what's interesting, before I get to the question, what's interesting is that the DOST is moving in this direction because I was at a CTO meeting over in, I think it was in Power Plant Mall a couple of weeks ago. And they were pushing a lot of cloud technologies. And if you're new to blockchain really is more of a cloud technology when you look at it. And it's interesting that you bring this idea of this DOST, they're moving in this direction with the concept of blockchain in mind. And now I'm starting to see, I guess, the idea of cloud. And I believe this is going to lead to a lot more of an uptick in, especially with our current developers here in the Philippines. Like they might migrate over to, let's say, the blockchain space in terms of, utilizing their skills, because right now they're using it more towards Web 2 applications. Web 3 could be something that, DOST can push with our current developers here in the Philippines. And that's a good thing.
All right. So actually, bro, we're going to talk about more about that when we can have an episode talking about cloud and blockchain. But yeah, I do. Now let's go back to your question on the updates for the international. Recently, last week of June, actually, in Shanghai, they held a conference there, a worldwide conference for telecommunication companies, ICT companies. They flocked together in Shanghai last week, and this is for the Mobile Congress, the Mobile World Congress for 2023. And there's a big announcement there that's going to be impacting the blockchain space and the metaverse and the Web3. Actually, one of the participants, or actually one of the hosts, since this is in China and in Shanghai, would be the company by the name China Mobile. China Mobile would be the biggest mobile telecommunication company in China. In terms of numbers of users, I guess even outside China, we can say they are big, and even in the ICT industry. Now, they announced, going back to the announcement, they announced that they are working towards a metaverse alliance in China, wherein huge companies like Huawei, Xiaomi and Huawei are known to compete in some areas, particularly in the hardware area, like the cell phone area, but they actually, collaborate with China Mobile to establish this metaverse alliance in China, and that is just last week. Imagine, bro, several parts of the world, not just the US, not just Europe, even one of the biggest economies in the world, China, is actually moving into the blockchain, Web3, metaverse space.
It's interesting that you mentioned this, because when we look at like the metaverse, in my opinion, like the metaverse had this awesome idea, and it kind of it had its journey, especially during the last bull run that we had. And of course, people took it to newer heights in terms of, let's say, NFT, like basically digitalizing or tokenizing basically pictures, books, music. They went the whole route. And on top of that, we're talking about virtual world environments where I can see that, this conference that you're talking about, when we look at China, when we look at Asia in general, I mean, he even said this once, a lot of things are made usually in Asia. And the fact that when you look at it in terms of a marketing mindset, in a virtual world, in the metaverse, and again, metaverse doesn't have to be virtual, but it's basically the concept of this virtual space that they're pushing towards this metaverse thing that you're talking about. So my question really is this? You mentioned certain like hardware industries. You mentioned Huawei. You mentioned China Mobile. But is it more along the lines of more on the retail sector, or are they going to be expanding it to pretty much any sector other than just marketing out their products? Is this going to replace television, radio, internet? Like what is the end game? Is what I'm trying to ask.
Well, for one, I was looking at the news, bro, and I was thinking what you think about it right now. It's the same thing that they're looking at, not necessarily thinking about too, but they're looking at it. Well, definitely, they wanted to, produce the contents and monetize it through the covers. So that's an end game for them. They want to monetize the contents that they produce. China is a big producer of content. They're also a huge consumption of content. So whatever they produce, they can actually consume their own. But with the metaverse, it's an added stream for them, I believe so. So they learn from the experience of probably Tencent and another. I forgot the other company, but there's this company that has a major boom in the metaverse in China. I think they actually learned. They verbalized it during the launch of this metaverse alliance.
Well, that's good information to know, man, because I can see this really ramping up probably in the upcoming years, especially when it comes to marketing. By marketing, I mean pretty much any form of advertisement, really, because when you look at it in terms of virtual world environment, and maybe not so much virtual, it's this idea is like there's no regulation. It's untapped. It's basically it's a new space that people can kind of like tap into and say, hey, look, they're promoting this or they're promoting that. And I think this is kind of like a good way to kind of decentralize things. Of course, although it may not be regulated at first, but in time there could be some regulations to, for these metaverses. But I think this is a good direction. So it's good.
Yeah. Actually, bro, the regulation is one of the biggest questions in the picture right now for metaverse, blockchain, Web3, because basically this is something relatively new.
Mhm.
So we need to give chance to regulators to actually do their jobs in regulating. That's it.
Okay, well, that's awesome, man. Still, I believe the metaverse still has some room to grow, and hopefully in the coming years we're going to see it grow to like extremely awesome levels. All right, so it's awesome, man. So when we talk about the metaverse, there's these ideas, this concept of like NFTs, things like that, tokenization. I noticed that you mentioned to me that you've written a book, dude. Is that true?
Oh yeah. Actually, well, tonight is a very special night because when we do this interview, we do this blockchain update. We're launching something for our viewers, something free, yeah, upcoming of this primer about blockchain, the blockchain technology in the Philippines, the history of the e-wallets, the rise of e-wallets, and the cryptocurrency person. So yeah, thank you for bringing this up, Sly, because tonight is a very special night because we are launching a book. This is entitled The Blockchain Navigator's Guide to Cryptocurrency and Blockchain. Now, anyone who wants to know what's up and coming for the blockchain technology can actually get a copy of this book. There are two parts. For perspective, there are two parts of the book. One will be free. We're giving out tonight. We're giving out a copy of the primer of the book for our blockchain navigators. Now, we will be coming out of the full published book upcoming. So we'll be announcing it later. But man, anyone who can check the link out, you can download the book on the link below. That's it.
All right, that's
You
awesome, man.
get a free ebook, man.
And by the way, I read a couple of pages, man. It's very informative, especially, and it works towards those who are new to blockchain and trying to adopt what blockchain has to offer, especially if you're new to the space, or maybe if you're not new to space, it actually has some eye-opening details on other things that you didn't, what do you call this? Other things that you didn't like, maybe have read on other websites or things like that, but it's a really good read, to be honest.
Oh, thank you very much for that compliment, bro. Well, I actually give advanced copy for Sly Pi because I want him to actually do a review. So what do you say? What can you say about the book that was written for the benefit of our viewers tonight?
I say it does complete the objective of informing your readers in terms of, especially in terms of the Philippines, that when you read this book, there's a lot of information that expands on not just the financial side of blockchain and cryptocurrency, but really dwells into the technology and how it was introduced to the Philippines. So consider it more kind of like a journalist perspective or a history perspective of how really this blockchain really scaled, how it expanded in the Philippines. And I do want to mention that the idea of the pandemic really was the catalyst for a lot of Filipinos to really adopt blockchain, because we did mention e-wallets. And in a sense, when you look at cryptocurrencies and blockchain, the concept of e-wallets is heavily detailed in your book, actually, why it was adopted and how cryptocurrency were adopted by a majority of the Filipinos. So it's a really good read.
Right. Thank you for reading it and reviewing it in advance, man. So yeah, you guys can download it for free. Actually, you can get a copy of the primer for free. Now watch out for our announcement as we launch the book. But we're still looking for a publisher, by the way. Shameless plug. So for the publishers watching, listening to us right now, you can message us and we will be doing the publishing right away. The book is finished, so the primer is being given out for the guy, but those who would like to have a look what will it look like when you buy the book. Yeah.
All right, man. All right. So I guess that's it with blockchain updates. Your book you're about to publish. So again, hey, thank you so much for your time today. It's great to see you again, bro.
Yes, thank you also, man, for curating the show for today. Yeah, we're looking forward for more contents and updates upcoming, because there are a lot of things happening in the space. We should continue to be updating you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe to the channel, both in Facebook, YouTube, where else. By the way, shameless plugging. You can also join our community, our small community in Telegram. We are coming out of devices, news, any update about the blockchain, trading, in cryptocurrency, etc. Now, just to give you a background again, before I allow you to move out, guys, I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in, especially my good friend Sly here, and of course the production team who is with us tonight. Thank you very much, guys, for being with us. Yeah. Up yours, guys. I'll see you again next time.
All right, guys.
Capiche?